answering your questions about retirement. It's Money Talk with Michael Eastham.
I heard you talking about estate planning a while ago, and we are now trying to decide whether to do a will or a trust and what costs are involved. We don't have either right now and are hoping you can give some advice.
All right, estate planning is a great topic, especially because a lot of people don't think about estate planning in the context of a financial plan. But the reality is, a good estate plan can be the cornerstone of any good and well-rounded and complete financial plan. But you do have to understand the differences between a will and a trust. You see, a will is a little bit less expensive on the front end, but your estate is going to have to pay for probate on the back end. So it can be way more expensive on the back end. Not only that, but having a will means that it's a very open process. So it can be all your assets may be out there in the public eye, beneficiaries, etc., are out there in the public. And it's, of course, managed through the probate process, which is administered through the court. But on the other hand, a trust allows you to be very, very private. In other words, a trust actually establishes a separate entity from you by contract. And because that entity owns your assets, well, it doesn't have to go through the probate process. So yes, it can be a little bit more expensive on the front end to set up the trust, but administering the trust on the back end can be way less expensive. It can be a lot less complex and much more efficient. But every situation is going to be a little bit different. I will tell you that a lot of times people have a common misconception that in order to have a trust, they have to have a large estate. It has to be very complicated, and nothing could be further from the truth. By having one house in your estate, that could cause the cost of probate to go through the roof, costing maybe tens of thousands of dollars to administer probate if you don't have a trust. So if you have a trust, it can be very, very efficient, as I mentioned, very cost effective, and you can avoid all the public aspects of probate. So keep those things in mind and make sure that whatever you decide, that you get some good advice and understand completely not only the differences between a will and a trust, but you have the information to make an informed decision about which one is right for you. Thanks so much for that question. And if you have more questions about it, feel free to reach out. We'll be happy to talk to you about your specific situation.
If you've got a financial question you'd like to have answered, click on the link below to submit your question. You may hear your answer on an upcoming edition of Money Talk.